In today's video, we are going to explore famous Martin Luther King Jr. quotes about love, life, courage, and dream. Let's get started. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into friend. If one loves an individual merely on account of his friendliness, he loves him for the sake of the benefits to be gained from the friendship, rather than for the friend's own sake. Consequently, the best way to assure oneself that love is disinterested is to have love for the enemy neighbor from whom you can expect no good in return, but only hostility and persecution. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Hate is just as injurious to the hater as it is to the hated. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personality and eats away its vital unity. Many of our inner conflicts are rooted in hate. This is why psychiatrists say, love or perish. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. There can be no deep disappointment where there is not deep love. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. You know, a lot of people don't love themselves. And they go through life with deep and haunting emotional conflicts. So the length of life means that you must love yourself. And you know what loving yourself also means? It means that you've got to accept yourself. Whatever your life's work is, do it well. A man should do his job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. We will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. We must use time creatively, in the knowledge that the time is always right to do right. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We cannot walk alone. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Those who are not looking for happiness are the most likely to find it, because those who are searching forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. The art of acceptance is the art of making someone who has just done you a small favor wish that he might have done you a greater one. The time is always right to do what is right. The soft-minded man always fears change. He feels security in the status quo, and he has an almost morbid fear of the new. For him, the greatest pain is the pain of a new idea. The quality, not the longevity, of one's life is what is important. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. 10,000 fools proclaim themselves into obscurity, while one wise man forgets himself into immortality. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Seeing is not always believing. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. Property is intended to serve life, and no matter how much we surround it with rights and respect, it has no personal being. It is part of the earth man walks on. It is not man. Only in the darkness can you see the stars. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. No person has the right to reign on your dreams. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they'd die for. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. Lightning makes no sound until it strikes. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Everything that we see is a shadow cast by that which we do not see. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Carve a tunnel of hope through the dark mountain of disappointment. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be a sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. A lie cannot live. That's love, you see. It is redemptive, and this is why Jesus says love. There's something about love that builds up and is creative. There is something about hate that tears down and is destructive. So love your enemies. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Please let us know your favorite quotes from these famous Martin Luther King Jr. quotes about love, life, courage, and dream in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.